Welcome to the Entombed Valley.
Starting to the top left, we have our Terran player. He is one of the last two Terrans that are in the WCS Korea. He's a Casper player, starting for Samsung Khan, and his ID is...
Samsung Khan Reality.
He needs to win 2 maps now against his opponent. He's already down 1 game to the bottom right. We have the Team Liquid player looking strong today. Once again, he is...
Liquid Hero.
Really likes to chew down late plays. And he looks pretty relaxed right now. You know, nerves have been an issue for him in the past, but obviously being up a game here, plus coming to the studio feeling good, it definitely shows in his facial expressions in that booth.
The first game is just always so important. Even if you are nervous in map number 2, map number 1, if you win it, then usually everything's fine. You're like, okay, everything's cool, everything's going my way, so just breathe, and then it's awesome. But well, we're going to find out what exactly Reality has on his mind right now. In the last game, I would have loved to see the last game actually with Combat Shield.
Yes.
That would have been so interesting to see if Hero would have still been able to hold it.
Well, he would have been able to do more with his first pressure, I think, with Combat Shields especially. And then the game would have looked different from the beginning, but then the second attack might have killed Hero. It's hard to say. Reality knew what was going wrong, and he knew he needed to pull those SCVs and try to make the attack work, but that one DT did so much damage, and I mean, the DPS of Stalkers cannot do enough damage to Combat Shield Marines being healed by Medivacs, but when there's no Combat Shields, that's a different story. And the probe will get denied here. He actually sees nothing in the main. He cannot tell if gas has been taken.
We talked a little bit about the Casper players and about GSL players, about Terrans, Protoss and Zerg in the tournament. And one thing that I also want to note is that if Hero actually advances here, then we still have 3 Casper players left in the losers bracket. There's not a single Casper player in the winners bracket right now, but 3 of them still have the chance to qualify. They are up against tough opponents though. Rain has to face Curious in the 4th round of the loser bracket. We have Effort actually Hero up against Puzzle, and Mia against Roro. 2 mirror matches that will decide if one of the Casper players is advancing to the round of 5, being able to qualify here. So also something that's a little bit on the line. So Reality is not only fighting for Terran and for his team, but also for the honor of the Casper players, who have been really showing a lot of very strong and surprising results in the losers bracket, and just shown that they are definitely on eye level with a lot of GSL players.
Yeah, they made a big splash. A lot of GSL players getting very serious now, especially Slayer's Jessica saying that she really wants Slayers to practice really hard because they're underestimating the players. And this is what I like to call the Karn TVP build, man. This is where you should make 5 barracks, and I actually practiced with Karn quite a bit, man, especially when I was playing full-time in StarCraft 2, and he always does this build. This is a really strong, scary build to face when you do not, if you go for Robo before adding the 2 gates, and this is exactly what Hero's gonna do. Why? Because he hasn't seen a command stone on low ground, so he's like, alright, well, I definitely need this for a potential Banshee play, maybe even for siege tanks. I want to have the Immortals, so Reality is tricking him here into thinking, alright, you should go Robo before the 2 gates, but he's got a lot of pressure coming through. He's even going to take out a Stalker here.
Yeah, that was definitely not what Hero wanted to do here. Losing the Stalker early on is the worst thing that can happen to you. That will be so important later on, and he still doesn't really have a lot of scouting information.
Yeah, I mean...
He knows about the number of Marines, though.
He knows, and this is something that he's going to definitely start to react to when he sees this. This is actually really important that he picks off a lot of hit points on these Marines right now. Not up the ramp, though. If he goes up the ramp, it's a mistake. And he's got to fight back now. Almost losing a Stalker here, losing a lot of hit points, and this makes this attack even scarier. You cannot rely on sentries against this type of push. You need the DPS of the Stalkers. And oh man, his 2 gates are not even done yet. The SCV train has been pulled.
Yeah, the pain train is coming, is going to the bottom right now, and the gates are not ready just yet. Hero needs units, and he needs them fast.
Oh, 3 pylon wall is going to be so effective here. I really like that he's not hesitating to do that. He doesn't know that there's a command center, though, does he? Yeah, he hasn't seen it, so he thinks this is definitely going to be all in, but he cannot actually make the pylon wall until things get nasty.
And he warps in a couple of Stalkers, but the army supply is 13 against 26. And Reality is setting up a bunker immediately. Taking down this Nexus won't be an issue, but the thing is he might be able to take the game.
He cannot afford to put this many units up the ramp, though, against that force field, because now he's going to lose so many for free. He still will likely get the Nexus if that bunker finishes, but it's not done yet. And Hero is actually going to probably take this opportunity to break down the ramp and try to stop it. Here he goes.
And he has the Stalker count now. He can warp in additional ones, and this is actually getting a little bit scary for Reality. If he loses too much here, and Hero Michael as well, he can defend against it.
And he needs to actually now go to the left around the bunker. He's not going to be able to save the Nexus, not with his Stalker count like this, but he might be able to run by and catch reinforcements. Is he going to do it? He's hesitating here a little bit and taking a lot of hits on these Stalkers. The Nexus is definitely going to fall. It's getting very low in hit points, down to 500 now.
More Stalkers have been warped in, and now he's picking off the SCVs the Marines one by one. The SCVs also dying. Hero is losing a lot of Stalkers though, and this is going to prove to be troublesome for him.
He needs to pull the Stalkers back. I mean, the SCVs back. That was a close call.
Yeah, the SCV count at this point, the mining SCVs, they're actually not that many, but now we have the Immortal.
Can he save the Nexus?
Oh, that would be so huge.
Oh man, I think he might be able to do it though. The Marines target down the Immortal.
The Zealots!
Zealots come through. He's going to save the Nexus. I cannot believe it.
Oh my god. He actually pulls this off.
Yeah.
He saves the Nexus at the same time. He's now trying to chase those SCVs back. 32 against 38, double mule though. Resources lost 2,200 for Reality, 1,500 for Hero, and he's taking down additional Marines as we speak.
Hero has killed 9 SCVs in total. So many of the SCVs of Reality have not been mining for a really long time since they've been out on the map. So, you know, you can look at that SCV count, it looks like one thing, but in reality it means another. No pun intended. Seriously. But Stim is on the way now for Reality.
I can't believe he held the Nexus. Reality could have actually targeted it down, but he would have lost too much.
Yeah, and I mean, in this type of situation, it's better to do what Reality did. But now he's pushing this army back again. Heroes overextended just ever so slightly.
22 Marines are still on the map.
Yeah, Marines are really being shown their power here.
But Hero is ahead in overall supply. His harvest count is at 49 to 38. Of course, the mules help a little bit. But still, Hero with the chrono boost now at his economy. He's chrono boosting his Nexi like crazy. He wants to have a high harvester count, and this is exactly what he's achieving here.
And Reality has to be scared now, because he may face a 2-base Colossus attack now. He may face some sort of Blink Stalker pressure. Anything that you're vulnerable to when you go for pure Marine army is now something Reality's going to have to worry about. So he's making 2 extra bunkers going up to 3. And this means that Hero can make double forge if he wants to. It looks like he's going to stick with just the one with the Twilight Council. He can take a 3rd Nexus very soon as well, which I expect him to do. And Reality has to be on the defensive. He has to be on the back foot, but with the SCV count where it is, Hero definitely in a good position right now.
Yeah, that was... For him, I mean, he has the tech, he has the robotics already, he has the scouting information, we have him with the Observer on the map, he's going into Blink now. We also have additional gateways to reinforce things here. The position for him is great, and you can see that Reality is really scared with all the bunkers that he builds, with just how he structures his base here. So Hero is now the one who initiates attacks and who is dominating the map. He can take his 3rd base without a problem at all, and there's the Nexus. So things are looking really good for the Team Liquid player.
Yeah, he's gonna just grab that Nexus for free. Reality does make his 3rd command center in his main. He knows that the only thing that he's really vulnerable to when he does that is a Colossus push. He's gonna start his first 2 medevacs. And I'm gonna check and see if he scanned, because yeah, actually he did scan. He saw a Twilight Council in the extra gate, so now he knows, okay, no Colossus, makes the 3rd command center. He knows that attack by ground straight up is not going to stop him with all the bunkers he has. Moves out with his Marines and Mirage trying to catch those Stalkers, but obviously they're very quick, even without Blink. Blink is about to finish.
Robotic Spay has been started, and this is just Hero initiating the next step here in his plan. His defense so far was looking great, and sure, we're going to see how his offensive plan is going to work out here. That stimming in and blinking right away. The one Paladin dies, but in the end he didn't lose any Stalkers, which was the important part. And he forced the stim, of course, which is also a little bit annoying. Huge stim here.
Yeah, that was quite a large one. Meanwhile, the rock's being destroyed for Hero, so he can hold that 3rd Nexus a little bit safer. He knows the Bioforce is getting large. He's a little bit concerned about it, but Reality's not going to move out right now. He needs more medevacs, and he's going to need Vikings, of course, to combat the Colossi he's going to face soon. And this game is going to go into a longer one. Neither Reality nor Hero can really push out and attack the other one right now, so it's going to come down to who takes the 4th first, and if Reality decides to put pressure on with these drops and do a multi-prong harass, how well will Hero defend? He's got to be careful with these Stalkers. He's got Blink so he can come back, and he does, but loses one Stalker.
Loses one of them, and the first few Colossi are now being built. +2 attacks started for Reality already, and the +1 armor. So in upgrades, he's actually looking good here.
Yes, he is. Stims again, and this is a mistake. You know, that Stim was huge, doesn't even get a single shot off on any of these units.
Well, the most important part is that Reality has combat shield.
Yes, he does have that indeed this time.
Yeah, but the upgrade advantage for him is actually quite significant if you look at how things are going to plan out here. Hero doesn't even have the 2nd Forge yet, so this is definitely a problem that the Team Liquid player will have to face later on. If Reality is hitting a timing where he can capitalize on it, things might look pretty grim for Hero. Has to be careful about it. He's adding now the Templar Archive, so this gives him, in addition to the Colossi, a 2nd area of effect damage dealer.
Yeah, I think he's going to stop with 2 Colossi then as well. He's really loving to make these cannons, and I love his love for cannons. It's kind of a weird relationship that we have, but I think that, you know, if he continues to make cannons, we can make it work. Because the cannons are going to allow a lot of extra DPS that he's going to need while he tries to make that transition into Templar. Because, you know, it's a big, tough transition to make. It's not easy. It requires a lot of gas, a lot of care, and micro.
Well, with the 3 bases that he now has, he can definitely afford it. I mean, if you don't have the gas, then it's really complicated to go for any kind of Archon or High Templar build and still continue the Colossi production. But with this, he can pull it off. But look at the upgrades now for Reality. He's finishing +2 attack and +1 armor, and if he actually continues to upgrade, Hero is definitely in a position where he needs now on 3 bases, he needs a 2nd Forge.
Yeah, he does. And his upgrades are actually really going to start to fall behind here as time goes on. He wants to fight Reality in the middle of the map, but this is a fight he can take. I love that little blink forward there. He knows Reality is never going to turn around, never in a million years against this composition. And he just picks off a Marauder. Reality
is also just trying to buy himself a bit of time because he wants the Ghost Academy, which is of course important against the Storms that we are going to see very soon. A nice pick-off with the Observer here. Job well done and limiting the scouting information that Hero has. Because the Team Liquid player now wants to really know where the position for the Terran is.
The upgrades are in favor of Reality here, and he's got a better army supply as well. And since he's got the right Viking ratio, which is about to kind of go against him a little bit as Hero's made the switch, Hero cannot fight that army now that it's in the defensive position.
We already have 6 Vikings, and he's getting 3 additional ones. The Colossi count is at 3. Here comes Charge, and both of them just really gearing up. Reality already with a 4th base building. Here comes the Mirrorburst Reactor. Needs to get away. Yeah, bottom left. A little bit of scouting going on, checking if there's another base. And +3 has been started, so Hero built a 2nd Forge, by the way, but he just doesn't use it.
Yeah, he did, and nice blink there. But Reality is upon him, man, and he's gonna have to split his units really well as Colossi, and make sure that the Vikings are not a problem for him. His Zealots cannot be in the back of his army during this engagement. Look at this. And his Zealots are all in the back. So are his Templar. He's going to really struggle to get those Storms off. Now coming around the right side with those Templar. In Reality, decides that's too many Templar for him to want to fight. And he decides to stay here now in an awkward engagement.
Uh-oh, he's losing a lot. Look
wow,
at those Storms!
Fields. Oh my god.
The force field donuts, and then the Storms hit home. Wow, that was epic. That was exactly what Hero needed. He was so down in bank, but now Hero in a great position, 30 supply up, and he's just moving straight towards the main of his opponent. That was beautiful.
Hero really capitalized on the fact that Reality was really shaky in that engagement. I wasn't sure if he wanted to commit or not. But when Hero wants to fight, he fights, man. And it's I always say this about Hero, but I imagine his force fields being placed on a touchscreen, like on an iPad or something like that. Because he just look at how good they are. Look at how he just majestically places those.
That was really so well done, those force fields. That was, I mean, the first one was already good, but the second one was crazy. The Mana Nexus goes down.
It hurts his Zealots a little bit here, but the Colossus falls, and now suddenly Reality actually May be able to hold off the Zealot wave, but the Archons are coming. He remakes the Nexus, saying he really wants it.
Yeah, here come the Templars. Feedback first, and then the Storm. Oh, wow, this is looking great for Hero. Just look at these thunderstorms here. Going down, taking everything apart. Reality down to 78 supply. And this is Hero just completely crushing every single force. He has a full face up. GG! Hero with a 2-0 against